All right, we are going to do solving multi-step equations here. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Everything has went wrong today after school. I am doing this at home with my cell phone, and we're just going to see how this turns out, and just bear with me on this. So you need to know your steps first of all. So your first step will be to remove the parentheses with the distributive property. Then you're going to combine like terms. Third step will be add, subtract the constant. And fourth step will be to multiply or divide by the coefficient. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with your examples here. With this first example, we are going to do 3x plus 4 equals 19. All right, so with this problem right here, you want to follow your steps here. And I'm just going to start with a two-step equation just to refresh your brain memory on what to do. So with this one, you want to see if you have any parentheses, which there's not none. There's not none. That's not right, but whatever. Number 2, combine like terms. There's no combining like terms. There's nothing to combine. So we're going to move on to the third step, add, subtract the constant. So we are going to move that 4 first. So we're going to subtract 4 to both sides. So 3x equals 15. Then we're going to divide by 3 to both sides, because remember, when there's a number and a variable beside of each other, that means to multiply. So the opposite of multiply is divide. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And that is our answer right there. So let's go on to number 2. Number 2 will be 8x plus 2x minus 10 equals 60. So for this one, we want to look at our steps, remove parentheses by using a distributive property. We don't have any parentheses, so we're going to go with combining like terms. And we do have some terms to combine here. We've got an 8x plus a 2x. And the 8x plus a 2x gives us 10x minus 10 equals 60. So now we want to go to step number 3, which is add or subtract the constant. So we want to move this 10 to the other side, so we're going to do the opposite, so plus 10. And 10x equals 60 plus 10 is 70. And we have 10x equals 70, so we're going to divide by 10. So x equals 7. There's our answer. All right, let's go ahead and go to example number 3. And we have 9x minus 5 minus 12x equals negative 23. So following our steps that we have just talked about, we don't have any parentheses, so moving on to step number 2, combining like terms. Notice we have a x here and an x here. So 9x minus 12x, signs are different, so we're going to subtract our two numbers, which gives you negative 3x minus 5 equals negative 23. Now we're going to step 3, which is add or subtract the constant. So we're going to move this 5 to the other side, and we're going to do the opposite, which would be add 5. So negative 3x equals negative 23 plus 5. Signs are different, so we're going to subtract our two numbers, which gives you negative 18. And then we're going to divide by negative 3 for our last step. So negative 18 divided by negative 3 is a positive 6. Example number 4 here, we're going to do 3 parentheses x plus 7 equals 21. So we're going to start with our rules, which is remove the parentheses. This problem does have parentheses, so we're going to start by distributing. Remember, distribute really just means to multiply. We're going to take that 3 and multiply to everything inside the parentheses there. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21 equals 21. And then we're going to continue to solve this. There are no terms to like terms to combine. So we're moving to step 3, which is add or subtract the constant. So it's a plus 21, so we're going to subtract it to both sides. So we're left with 3x equals 21 minus 21 is 0. And our last step will be to divide by 3. So x, 0 divided by 3 would be 0. All right, let's move on to number 5 here. We are going to have negative 4 times x minus 12 equals, or I should say in parentheses there, equals 40. So negative 4 times the quantity of x minus 12 equals 40. So going back to our rules, we're going to have to remove the parentheses by using the distributive property, which means we're going to multiply this negative 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And then we're going to do negative 4 times negative 12. A negative times a negative is a positive. 48 equals 40. Step number 2 has us to combine like terms. There are no terms to combine here. Step 3 says for us to add or subtract the constant. So I'm going to take this 48 and I'm going to subtract it to the other side. So negative 4x equals 40 minus 48. Signs are different, so I'm going to subtract my two numbers and take the sign of the larger one. And then my last step will be to divide by negative 4. So x equals negative 8 divided by negative 4 is positive 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and go into my next page here for number 6. So for number 6 here, we're going to do 2 times the quantity of x minus 8, close your parentheses, minus 2 and another set of parentheses with x plus 7 equals 18. All right, so we have 2 sets of parentheses here, so we're going to have to distribute twice. So with the first one here, we're going to distribute the 2 to everything in this first parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. We're done with this parentheses. Now let's move on to the second one. Be careful, and you've got to distribute a negative 2 here. That minus sign has to go with that 2. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14 equals 18. Okay. Step 2 says for us to combine like terms. Notice we have x's that we can combine, and then we got constants that we are going to combine. So 2x minus 2x, that's going to end up being 0. Those x's are canceled out. We no longer have those x's. But let's continue with our constants. Negative 16 minus 14 is actually going to be negative 30 equals 18. And you need to ask yourself, does negative 30 equal 18? The answer obviously is no, so that does not work. So this is called a no solution. Anytime you have a no solution, that means your variable cancels out. Variables cancel out. So variables cancel out and constants do not equal each other. Or you could say variables cancel out and equation does not equal each other. So for example, negative 30 does not equal 18. All right, so anytime you have a no solution, that is what's going to happen. Your variables are gone, and then both sides don't equal each other. Let's move on to number 7 here. Let's do 3x minus 3 quantity of x plus 6 equals negative 18. All right, so on this one, we're going to start out by distributing, and we're going to distribute a negative 3. You always want to look at the sign in front of the number. So bringing down that first number, 3x. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18 equals negative 18. Second step says for us to combine like terms. And our 3x and our 3x can combine. So 3x minus 3x is 0. Those cancel out once again. But you're left with negative 18 equals negative 18. And you need to ask yourself this question: does negative 18 equal negative 18? The answer is yes. So this is called an identity. An identity occurs when variables cancel out and both sides of the equation equaled each other. And you have an identity in this case. So the first, or this number 7 was number 6 was a no solution, and number 7 is an identity. Notice both of them have variables that are completely gone. They cancel out. One of them, they don't equal each other. The other one, they do.